Okay, so we are now recording. You're at Living a Remarkable Life. We're having a little bit of a free-for-all today, and my co-host Kevin is in the feed, but he's not able to make it today. So we do have a few guest co-hosts today. Chase Boehringer, I probably butchered your name.
Everyone
but anyways,
does.
he's joining us today, and Chase was also at World Domination Summit with Kevin and I, and we're going to chat a little bit about that, a little bit about how we're making sure we're living our lives remarkably, and just a little bit of a free-for-all. So if you have any comments, type them in the side message thing, and later we'll be inviting people to come on and join us. We may also have Jim joining us live from the UK, as long as his system will allow him to get on. So how are you this morning, Chase?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm super, super excited. I was thinking about this last night. I did some karaoke last night. Didn't stay out too late, but I just wanted to get that, you got to get that fun energy before something like this.
You do, and energy is so very important when you're living a remarkable life. It really is about living that, not only the lifestyle where you're having fun, but just doing those fun things, because the creativity that comes from doing all those amazing things really leads you to be able to do other remarkable things. After I go dancing or go to some fun event, I always come back feeling inspired and ready to go.
Yeah, I totally agree, but one thing about energy that I've learned is that it also brings other amazing people around you. Mm-hmm. If you're flowing around the room and you're smiling and you're having a great time and you are that positive energy force, people out of the blue who are amazing too are going to come up to you because they're like, hey, I want to hang out with that guy because he's like me. And those are the people you want around you because they're only going to push you forward, and you want awesome people who are doing awesome stuff.
For sure. I was at a business meeting locally. We were celebrating Barrie Business Week, and the awesome people were the ones on the dance floor. Of course, I was there.
Of course. I
was there getting down. All my bad Elaine style Seinfeld moves. Yeah, that's about it.
Oh, that good, huh?
That good. I wasn't drinking or anything, so it was completely sober Elaine style Seinfeld moves. Very awesome. But it was all the awesome, amazing people. It was the people I wanted to spend time with, the people who were creative thinkers, who really wanted to make things happen. And at that event, I actually pulled a newbie networker. You know how you can spot the new people into the entrepreneurial community because they don't know what to do. They don't know who to talk to, and they look a little nervous. So I grabbed this young gentleman's hand, dragged him onto the dance floor, and he wasn't quite sure what he should do. But you know what? He had a lot of fun, and he emailed me the next day, and he's like, thank you so much for bringing him onto the floor. And I was telling him, okay, well, this is who this person is. This is who that person is. You should really talk to them about this. Or these people are the people you go to get information, because some of the people who were dancing were some of the people who are involved with the college, who are involved with the local city entrepreneurship center. And you know what? It makes your energy go up too. When you're out there having fun, you're excited. You have all these, what are they called? Not pheromones, but the other things. Anyways, there are those things getting you excited and everything else. So it is. It's energy.
Totally agree, especially with the people you surround yourself. I found that out about 3 years ago. I was surrounding myself with negative people, and I just had a moment saying, like, I'm not going to be able to live the life and the lifestyle that I deserve and the life that I see for myself if I'm surrounded by people who are only talking about other people. They're talking about things that are happening on TV and things that aren't even real. And I just realized I had this, this epiphany basically for me where I just said, I need to surround myself with people who are doing awesome, badass stuff. Because I want to be a badass. So I need to surround myself with badasses. And ever since then.
Oh, you are a badass.
Well, thank you. Only since I've surrounded myself with people like you, and people like Shannon, people like the people we know who are just ready for life, to take it by the balls and just say, like, all right, I'm doing this now. This is my life. I'm not going to wait any longer. I'm not going to let other people dictate the way I live my life. And that's so, so important to me, especially, is that I don't let other people dictate my life through judgment, through the little comments of insecurity that they have, I'm going to do me, and I'm going to do what makes me happy. And I think that's so important with blazing your own trail and really living a remarkable life, is not letting the judgment of others stop you from living the life you want.
Oh, for sure. There's too many of us who are hesitant to do things because we're afraid of what other people think. And we have to stop that mentality right now. We need to be able to be true to ourselves, take on new challenges, try new things, and not let people stop us by little comments that they feel are innocent comments, but that really hold us back. Things like, oh, well, you can't do that. That won't work. Or it's too much of a risk, or things like that. All that type of talk, even if it's well meant, it ends up holding us back. So we need to be true to ourselves. And one of my favorite sayings for myself is, if it's not mortally wrong or morally wrong, then go for it. Take advantage of the opportunity.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, because those are my 2 deal breakers. If it's not going to kill you, if it's not going to kill other people, and if it's not morally wrong in the general sense of things, then go for it. What do you have to lose? You don't want to be breaking laws, at least not laws put in place to properly protect people. Things like maybe the Uber taxi fight. Maybe those are laws to be working on changing. Things like getting the vote for females, that's a law to be changing. But if it's a law that's meant to protect people and is there for a moral reason or mortal reason, then yeah, listen to it. Other than that, just go for it. Say yes to opportunities, think differently, and try new things.
That's a huge point. And I'd love to bring it back to what you were saying about energy earlier. And I really think that that energy, like I was saying before, is going to surround us with people who aren't going to judge us for breaking out of the norm, for not just saying, I'm just looking for a job that's like, $17 an hour, and I'm just going to be comfortable, and I'm going to work that. And then I'm going to just kind of, chill out, figure it out. Because we are weird. We are the weirdos. We are the ones who are not normal. Yes. Who are...
3 cheers for weirdos!
And we're the ones...
I tell my kids every day they're weird.
Which is perfectly fine, as long as that word doesn't mean anything. Because to us, to people who are willing to work for our... to work for what we want and what our dreams are. And I shouldn't say work for it. I should say play for it. Because I really do believe that playing for your dreams and playing your way to success and whatever that looks like to you is the best way. Instead of grinding and working, have fun with it. Don't be too serious about it.
For sure.
And play your way to success. I really do believe in that. Dance a little more, smile a little more, play little games with yourself. And even with things that are normally annoying, I have little games that'll make me more positive. I'll say, all right, how much can I dance while I'm at work? How much can I dance without them noticing? and I'll just do little moves. And I'll have fun with myself, and I'll play throughout my day, and I become so much more positive and so much more happy as a person. And I think that has been a huge shift for me, is playing towards my success instead of working and grinding like I have been. And since then, it's just everything has just jumped out of my way. It's a clear path. And it's just been so much easier ever since then. I love it.
For sure. One of my favorite phrases is, creativity is intelligence having fun, an Einstein quote. And it's something I try to live by, because I know when I'm having fun, I'm more creative. And what if the whole world not only worked hard, but played hard? It's just such an amazing difference. There is a new event that people are starting to bring to different cities called Daybreakers. And basically what it is at 6 a.m., you have a giant dance party. You have a giant dance party, healthy drinks, things like that. And then you go to work at 9 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. So you have a dance party before you go to work. And I hear a rumor there may be a secret event in Toronto coming
that's awesome.
up. So.
I want to hang out with the people that are awake at 6 a.m. who are partying. I don't know if I can wake up that early, but if I can, I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna be dancing. I'll be dropping it low, and I want to hang out with people who are willing to wake up and dance before work, and not just go another day, and then just wake up. And,
well, I love turning on the radio in the morning and just dancing around the kitchen. The kids think it's a little weird, but I don't really care.
I listen to the most hardcore rap every morning. I swear. I listen. I just put it on. I'll put some Tyler the Creator on, some Nate Dogg, and I will just turn it up as loud as I can go. I got speakers in my house, and I will all morning, and that wakes me up. That gets me ready. I was just listening to I think Lil Wayne this morning just to get me prepped and pumped up, and during my morning workouts, and I was ready, and I was just like, all right, I'm loving it. I'm ready. I'm ready for my day to take it on. And just I think finding that every morning is going to be huge for a lot of people too as well. Finding that thing, whatever it is. I had no idea it would be rap music, but it just so happened to be for me. But finding that thing, whether it's yoga, whether it's waking up an extra 20 minutes early and making a beautiful breakfast for yourself, whatever that thing is that makes you go, all right, I'm ready for my day. You know, I didn't wake up on the wrong side of bed, and let's do this.
Yeah, and we've talked a little bit about music and getting up in the morning. I know myself, I'm listening to Avicii and Swedish House Mafia. Those are the two, I guess, main music people. I don't know what you call them anymore. Do you call them bands if they're not quite rock artists? Those are the two artists that just sort of get me pumped up in the morning. And then a little bit of Eminem once in a while, but it's really hard to play that when the kids are up.
Yes.
Maybe not too much swearing while you're going there, because that's really not a good thing. Oh, we have our usual interruption from the child. Let's see. He would like to play Minecraft after lunch. If his room is clean, he may play Minecraft, because Minecraft is creative. So go get the work done. Yay!
You weirdo.
Shut my door. Kevin knows we rarely ever get a chance to have a full session without one of my kids coming in or the dog barking. Let me just shut that door. Hold on.
It's all right. The four-legged child. The four-legged child.
Okay. I know, four-legged child. He's allowed to. So anyways, back to getting pumped up and the music in the morning. One of the things we've talked about before, and it's a great combination, you do the Miracle Morning, which is Hal Elrod's program where you get up early, you do, you listen to some music or you read, you do your healthy eating, you have your, I don't know, there's 5 different things you're supposed to do. You do 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of reading, a whole bunch of other stuff, but it's about getting up earlier, because more productive people are the people who get up earlier and start the day off right. Just think about it. If you don't eat, you don't have the energy. If you don't do something positive first thing in the morning, it sets your whole day. So if one of my kids wakes up and they're miserable, I feel my entire energy drained first thing in the morning. But when we get up and we're having a dance party and we're having good energy, then that keeps me going all day. The other thing we've talked about in combination with the Miracle Morning is the Pomodoro technique, which is working in increments of 25 minutes at a time. You do 25 minutes of work, 10-minute break, 25 minutes of work, 10-minute break, and you segment your work. But in addition to doing that, during that 10-minute break, we do dance party. We have actually did Google Hangouts where we're all on a hangout together. We're working for 25 minutes. We come back to the hangout.
All right, you got to invite me to that.
And it keeps up that energy. It's such a wonderful way to do the work, because you want to reward yourself for doing those tasks that maybe you don't like doing, accounting, or maybe there's something else that you're just trying to put off. Maybe it's writing that blog post. So you spend your 25 minutes, celebrate.
Yeah.
And then it's so much easier to do it. So Kevin says if he'd be on video, he'd have a dog and a niece distracting us as well. So
yeah,
I'm sad Kevin couldn't join us too. I don't know if you met Kevin at WDS.
I'm not sure. I haven't clicked on him yet. I'm not really sure yet, but I'm sure I'll be.
Well, Kevin's from Calgary.
Oh, there was so many Canadians there. There was tons of them. I love it.
We're taking over
you guys
the world.
In the San Diego guys. There's so many of you. I got to move either north or south. I'm right in the middle, right in Oregon.
Kevin doesn't think you met, but
All
hopefully
right.
next year. So next year for sure. I'm going to be one of those people scrambling for a last minute ticket. However, I think I should be up on stage doing an attendee story. So let's get me up there. So what should I talk about if I do an attendee story? That's the question.
Living a remarkable life, maybe?
Well, I think so. Maybe about our little blab that we've started.
I actually got my ticket.
Oh, Kevin's got his. I'm going to roll him
And
for his.
anyone who does not already know what the World Domination Summit is, it is an incredible event that happens in Portland, Oregon every year. And it's put on by Chris Guillebeau, who is an incredible, he's the author of the $100 Startup. And he also traveled to every country in the world. And he's an awesome guy. And he puts on the best conference that I go to every year. I'm a lifelong WDS guy. I've gone for the last 3 years, and every year it is the best weekend of my entire year. I do a lot of crazy stuff throughout the year, but every year this is the one thing that I look forward to most. I'll be going for the rest of my life, meeting thousands of incredible people who are all interested in what you're doing. They all want to help you. Help you along your path, and they're genuinely interested, and they genuinely want to tell you their story, and they're so genuine. I really love it, and there's great speakers. I highly, highly recommend the World Domination Summit. Tickets go on sale, I've heard, on Wednesday, actually. They're selling 300 of them.
I need one.
Exactly. And so you should have got it. You should have got it earlier. But no, I'm sure they'll sell out real fast. But I really look forward to meeting a lot of you guys at the World Domination Summit. I'll be there every single year.
And I will be there too, whether I'm just there doing the outside the actual theater events. And that's the best thing about World Domination Summit. And if you have not been, I think it's something you really need to know about, because World Domination Summit takes place over a couple days. But it's not just the main stage activities, which occur basically 9 to 12 and then 4 to 6. So it has this big break in the center of the day. And not only is it a 100% non-sponsored event, so there's no sponsor speeches or anything else like that. It's all self-funded or whatever. It's funded through the ticket sales. So it's not a sponsored event, which is amazing. We do amazing things like breaking world records. We did 5 last year. And in addition to the actual official World Domination Summit, there are a ton of meetups that are planned, attendee-led meetups, and then as well a couple workshops led by people like Jonathan Fields, where you can go to those whether you're attending the full summit in theater or not. So you can just go and you can hang out with people. There's so many people who unconference. They just show up in Portland. We take over Portland for a week, and we have an absolute blast. And that's what it is. It's all about this amazing community coming together, everybody teaching each other, gifting each other with different ideas and thoughts. And
I love it every year, and I'll be actually running a workshop this year. I'm super, super excited.
Awesome.
A meetup, I have never done it before, but I'll be doing it on writing a bucket list. That's something that's super, super I'm passionate about, is getting that down on paper and saying, all right, this is the kind of life that I want to lead. I think that's huge, especially for what we're talking about, living a remarkable life. For me, I wrote my bucket list about 3.5 years ago, and my entire life has changed because I wrote it down on paper, and I was able to say, okay, I didn't even realize how much I wanted to travel. I had never been out of the country, but I said, all right, I'm going to write everything down, and I went, holy crap. I have like 15 countries I got to go to on this list. I better start traveling. And I said, oh my gosh, all right, I really, really want to do these things. And I wrote them all down, and then I said, all right, how can I do this? And I started planning them one by one. How am I going to do this? From the simplest things like do a cartwheel. I've never done a cartwheel before, and I wanted to do one so bad. So
really?
I finally found time, and I was at work, and I went outside, took a break from work. It took me like 10 minutes straight, and I think I sprained my groin and sprained my wrist. But you know what? I got that damn cartwheel done, and I was super happy. And my entire life has changed from doing awesome things like running with the bulls in Spain and riding an elephant through the jungle in Thailand, stuff that I would have never, ever, ever done unless I sat down and I said, okay, this is the kind of life that I want to lead. How am I going to do it? how am I going to do this? How am I going to make this happen? And ever since then, my life has changed drastically, and for the better.
That's awesome. It really is all about saying yes to opportunities, and that is what has really changed my life. In 2012, I went to an event that's actually coming up in a couple weeks called Socialite, and it was just an event for entrepreneurs and people who believed in passion, profit. What is it? Planet, people, profit. People, planet, profit. I can't even think today. So, anyways, people, planet, profit is basically what the theme of the conference is. And it was because of that event, attending it, that I not only started believing in my own ability to do whatever I want, but it's also led me to a lot of opportunities, because at that event I had an aha moment, and all of a sudden I realized that I need to say yes to opportunities. So I went from that conference to going to a program called United Global Shift in New York City. Never been to New York before. I ended up going to Australia representing Canada at the G20 Young Entrepreneurs Alliance. Never went to Australia before. And this is a girl who, until 2012, didn't think she was ever going to do more than be a law clerk in a small town raising her 4 kids. Because I've been parenting since I was 16. And I didn't think I was ever going to go higher than really being a law clerk or running my brick and mortar business, because I had managed to get out of my traditional role and started learning about the community and joining it as an entrepreneur. But I didn't think I'd ever go to any of these places I went. Yet by saying yes to all those opportunities, I was able to go. And it was just so amazing.
I totally agree.
Logan, after I'm done.
It's okay. No, that's incredible, because we have a lot of the same story where I was actually 5th generation logger out here in Oregon. So I think it's crazy how we both have a lot of the same thing, where we start out expected to do one thing and just saying, nope, I'm going to do this. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Chase. Hi, guys.
Hi,
how's it going?
Going great.
It's going well.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yes,
How are
we
you
can.
this morning?
I'm great. Yeah, it's afternoon here. I'm sorry I missed the start of the session. I had a few issues with my browser, but we're on.
Great.
And that's why we start early and we just keep going no matter what happens, because sometimes we lose connection. It's the weirdest thing. But yeah, sometimes we won't be able to get our pictures up. Sometimes the audio doesn't work. And it's all trial and error, and that's okay, because we're all living remarkable lives. So just to introduce Jim, Jim is also a past attendee of World Domination Summit. I met him not last year, but the year before. And Jim is, I'd say, probably the first person I met. Him and 2 other Canadians.
The first event? Yeah.
Yeah, I met you at the pre-party at, what was it, the Nines?
When we're all wandering around wide-eyed and, in astonishment at this event. Yeah.
I know. And it was just such an amazing feeling. And now this year, Jim and Chase and I and 9 or 10 other people, I have no idea, we all ended up sharing an Airbnb together. And it was just such a wonderful experience of community. We came from all over the world, literally all over the world. We had about 5, 6 different countries.
Indian people, we had Swedish people. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and most of us didn't know each other before, and we all came together, all different generations too, so all different ages, everything else. And it was just a wonderful experience to share a community and share such a wonderful event
at college
with each other.
Again. It was awesome.
See, I just came home to my kids after college, so during college.
Yeah.
I missed out on the college wildness.
So
this is my
I'm
wild time.
a college dropout, so.
It was cool actually, because you had kind of like the old style, this is my vodka in the refrigerator,
Yes, exactly. I'll write my name on it next year, so everyone knows.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, we were all pretty good about it, but
Sorry, cranky kid. He really, really wants to play Minecraft.
Oh, my boy's crazy about that too, actually.
Let him play Minecraft.
Yeah, but I'm a mean mom, and I said not to lunch.
Oh no!
You can lock him in the basement. All right.
Yes,
So what
yes.
have we been talking about? What did I miss?
Well, that's where it is. I could lock them in the
Jim,
basement.
we've been talking about basically how to live a remarkable life. We've covered from waking up early in the morning and making sure that you got your music going or whatever makes you feel good, whatever makes you feel pumped up and happy. I think having a good start to the day. We've covered that energy is huge. I think the energy that you have that you bring into every event, that you bring into work every single day. You're going to surround yourself with other people because those people are going to say, hey, I want to hang out with that guy. That guy's my type of guy. He's positive. He has that kind of je ne sais quoi.
So we've been talking. That's an interesting point. A couple of days ago, I briefly met Seth Godin. And he was at an event in London, and I took my team there for the day. And he just literally stood out in front of 150 people, and no slides, no notes, nothing. Just asked questions and spoke for 5 hours.
Wow.
That's awesome. He's coming to an event in Toronto in 2 weeks, the Socialite event I was talking about. So let's pause for a moment. Brad has asked that we introduce ourselves. So Jim, you're newest to join us.
My name's Jim Shields. I'm a filmmaker. I specialize in comedy. And I wrote a book this year called Three Guys Walk Into a Bar, which is all about how to prosper as a creative business. This is aimed at freelancers and individuals who are part of small creative companies. So that's Three Guys Walk Into a Bar. And the book got written because of World Domination Summit. And the idea is, actually, the World Domination Summit called me out. Because lots of people say they're going to write a book. But when I was at World Domination Summit, they would not let me get away without promising that I was going to come back with the book a year later. And so that happened. And that was a great experience. So, my background is in filmmaking and comedy. And I live with my family in the UK, in the Midlands of the UK, near a small place called Ashby de la Zouch, which is a market town. You'll never find it. Just put a pin in what you think the middle of the UK is, and it's probably right. And I have two kids, Lola and Ray, who are my world, and a dog. And I have the best job in the world. My remit is to just make people laugh, and it's the best job in the world. And I make a living doing it, and I'm happy. And I've just reached a kind of independence because the work is going so well that I don't need to be there all the time now, which is what I've been working for. We talk about passive income, so nearly there with that one. Pretty much 95% of the way there with that one. So
wow, congrats, that's huge.
So is that enough of an introduction? That's me. I like to sing karaoke. This lot will tell you. I'll drag them all over Portland. Drag you guys all over Portland looking for somewhere to sing. That happened. And
I'll bring the karaoke machine next.
And I got to do a comedy gig as well, didn't I? I got to do some comedy. Yeah.
Yes, you did. Yes, facing your fears and getting up in front of people.
Yeah, tough room.
And I just missed it, unfortunately. Yeah. So Chase, introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Chase Boehringer. I'm the founder of the Bucket List Lifestyle, and I am a guy who just likes to travel and do whatever I want every day. That's kind of my goal. I'm a life coach, so I teach men and women how to get out of their daily grind and into what I call the Bucket List Lifestyle. And I am currently planning a 3-month to a year trip where I'll be completely just on my own. I don't know whether I'll be spending a short 3 months or if I'll be gone the whole year. I've just kind of planned out the first 3 months, going all around the world. I think that'll be huge for me. I've done a lot of traveling, but never anything like this. I'm a lover and a karaoke guy, all right? Just like Jim. By the way, Three Guys Walk Into a Bar. It's a great book. Definitely buy Jim's book if you get a chance.
Oh, thank you.
It's a really great book.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So my goal in life is to inspire others to live the life of their dreams. So I really like that. Is that the best job in the world, to make other people live an incredible life? And especially one of my favorite ways to do that is by myself living the life of my dreams. So I think that I have the greatest job in the world. of making people happy, making people cry from happiness, and just doing whatever I feel like doing, which is something that I teach my clients. Just do whatever. Does that feel good? Great. Let's do that.
Do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Dolly Parton that said, find what you're good at and you love doing and do the heck out of it?
Yes, exactly.
That great guru, that great philosopher, Dolly Parton.
Yes, the great philosopher.
So I guess it's my turn. I'm Rebecca Palmer, and I host Living a Remarkable Life every week with my co-host Kevin Langman, who couldn't be here this weekend. So we are lucky to have Chase and Jim joining us today to talk about living their own remarkable lives. Let's see, I'm a mom of 4. I've been parenting longer than I've been an adult. I am also the founder of a program called EntreLaunch, which is a teen entrepreneurial education program that we're launching globally within the next year, because I'm really passionate about helping others not only find their direction, but also to become entrepreneurs, start their own business, and create their own future. As you can hear, I have a dog. And my youngest one is only 7, and my eldest is 22. So it ends up being a very, very busy household at times here. But I still manage to find time to work on my passions, because I know how important it is to make sure that you're doing something that's fulfilling to you. Because if you're not fulfilling your passions, you're going to feel incomplete. And we need to feel complete in our lives. We need to feel that we're doing something valuable. And we need to be doing something we love, because when we do something we love, we feel better, we're more excited about it, and everything just comes easier. It's no longer work, it's living. So stop working to live and live for your work or something like that. Anyways.
That was great.
Yeah, you need to be doing what you love, because when you do what you love, it's no longer work. Work is more boring or more of a trap, and you shouldn't feel weighed down by what you're doing. You still need to work and make money and all that fun stuff, but let's do it doing something you love, something you're good at, something you enjoy doing, and let's do it in a way that has a positive impact, not only on your family, but on the world in general.
I love it.
So that's
awesome. I love what you were saying about, I think that you need to love what you're doing, and I think that really comes into the spirit of play.
Mm-hmm.
The spirit of play, playing for your goals. Sure. That's been huge. Huge for me is staying positive every day as much as I can. I'm not an angel. I can't wake up and just go like, oh, today is perfect. Let's do this every single day. But by keeping a routine that makes me happy and surrounding myself with other people who text me or message me regularly saying like, hey, just want to remind you that you're awesome. What are you doing today to better yourself or better your business or better the world? And that kind of stuff just reminds you like, holy crap, like I really should be doing something. I shouldn't be watching Netflix right now on my 3rd episode of The Walking Dead. I need to go out and make something and make something good in the world. And I think...
see, you have to watch iZombie. It makes you feel better than Walking Dead.
All right, more watching, more zombies, more watching. Nah.
Just for your downtime when you need to have just that time, because you need that sometimes. You need time to decompress at times.
Yeah.
So, but iZombie.
Okay, I'm writing that down now. Writing that. If you can get one thing out of this talk, it's iZombie.
Yes.
No, I've really found that's been my biggest push is the people that I surround myself with. Just like both of you guys, very intelligent, positive people who, if I were to need it, you guys would help me, and that's huge. Sure. That's huge to have people who are wanting you to succeed and willing to actually help you get it. That's something I found with surrounding myself with other people who are successful. They want you to be successful too. And they're interested in what you're doing, and they're saying like, wow, that's awesome. And they're not just saying it so they can walk away or so that they can tell you what they're doing. They're legitimately saying like, wow, that's really interesting. I love what you're doing. How can I help?
Yes, which is what I love so much about WDS, because that is the attitude of every single person there. And we're talking thousands of people. And every single person is, how can I help? It's not, what can I sell you today? Buy my program. It's no, how can I help you? How can I help you accomplish your goal?
Yeah.
What mutual goals do we
An
have?
interesting introduction to WDS. I'd been there about 3 hours, and on the first time I went in 2014, and I was just trying to get a coffee, and I was queuing up in a coffee shop, and I had the little rucksack. I'd already registered. I'd got the free rucksack, the little green one. And the nice thing is, all over Portland, you can spot these little rucksacks. So you kind of, it's like we own Portland. It's great. And it's like a tribe of people. And I was in the line for a coffee, and I realized I'd left my wallet back at the hotel, and I hadn't brought any cash out with me. And it was a bit embarrassing because the coffee sat there waiting to be paid for. And the guy behind me had one of these rucksacks and just leaned over and says, "I got this one. You're okay." And it was all about this camaraderie, and it was very cool. And I was being a Brit, we don't know how to deal with that. I was very embarrassed, and but it was really great. And we hung out for a bit, and I shared the coffee and the conversation, and I just realised that's, it took me back to a time when I was in my teens, and in Manchester, we'd go out as a group of guys, as a term, on the lash, which I'm not sure. You have a similar term, I'm sure, but basically we're out as a group of guys, and whoever had money meant that we could drink. It would all go into the center of the table, and we would carry on until all the money was gone. Didn't matter whose the money was, and that was it. Nobody cared. It was, and I know it's a simple thing, but it was just that feeling that the important thing is the community. The important thing is the sharing and the conversations and the banter and the laughs. It doesn't matter. And I worry these days that actually, in this age of personal platforms, from one end of the spectrum where you have selfie mania to the other end of the spectrum where you have people, with their own personal brand, I wonder, sometimes I get a little suspicious of motives, actually. And, you do see some old school kind of infomercial type guys putting on videos and trying to sell something, some kind of nebulous thing. And Chase is kind of hearing me on this, I can tell. You do see these guys, they're old school sales guys trying to sell a thing. And there doesn't seem to be anything substantial at the heart of it. And what do you guys think about that? I worry sometimes out there, you just see these things, you think, it just feels ingracious in some way. It doesn't feel authentic.
Sort of creepy.
Yeah, it's not authentic.
Yeah, I definitely agree, but I also think that those are fleeting people. Luckily, a lot of those people are, they're not the people who you're going to talk to for more than a day or a minute or 30 seconds, which is the nice thing. And I think that's something to remember, is that you're always going to run into those people. You're always going to, which is, you just say, okay, you do you, that's what you're doing, and I'm immediately just going to forget you ever existed. That's what I do with a lot of people who come at me who are negative or about my lifestyle, where they're like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Why would you do that? Why would you go and just like leave everything and go travel? And I'm like, because it's fun, and it is, can't comprehend that. And I just go, okay, well, that's perfectly fine. Have a great time. And then I walk off and forget that conversation happened, because I don't need that kind of negativity or that fake salesman in my life. And I think, not letting that dwell is huge.
I think it's a lot of
and maybe they're just afraid. They want to be traveling. They would love to do that, but they're holding themselves back. They're limiting themselves somehow. So
some people
they would like to be doing what you're doing.
50 reasons
so why not
to do something? It's like they'll just come up with 50 reasons not to. Well, that's ridiculous, Chase. How can you do that?
It's that crab in the bucket.
What are you thinking? Where's your career strategy? Where's your grand plan? What about your education? What about all these things that normal people do? How are you ever going to live?
Normal.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we normal?
No.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to be.
But people, I used to have a great drama tutor who said, "Leap and the bridge will appear," and he was right. Every time I have leapt, something has caught me, and it's great. And I think Seth on Tuesday had this fantastic pie chart where it was like 95% of the pie chart was people who don't try, and this tiny 5% of people who try and maybe fail.
Yeah.
And it's a really important point that, fail and fail big.
Yes, exactly.
Go
for sure, and fail often.
And fail bigger. Fail bigger every single time. Yes, exactly. Learn.
Yeah. As long as you're learning from your failure and trying something new, it's a good experience.
We have such a bad stigma about the word failure. We view it as a failure. That's it just has a bad taste in your mouth. But
at WDS, I came across, was it the Church of Fail? Did you come across that?
I did not come across that.
No.
I'm not sure that's the actual name. I think it's Church of Fail or something like that. The idea is that people get together in a room and they get up on stage and they celebrate when they really cocked up. You know, like, and they.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm running an event called F Up 2015 in a couple weeks.
Sounds perfect. What's that about?
So we're celebrating failure. I have Billy Anderson, who did, what is it? Your Comfort Zone is Killing You. He's one of our keynotes. And then we're getting people up from the audience to tell about their own failure. And I'm just really excited about it because it doesn't matter how good or how bad the event is. If it fails, well, hell, it's called F Up, so who cares?
Exactly. I love it.
But it's all about seeing failure in a different light. Failure is not a bad thing. If we didn't fail, we would never walk. We would never talk. We would never do anything if we didn't fail and try again. Look at Edison. Look at Bell. Look at all the different famous inventors and everything else. And I go as far as to look at the food trucks or look at the food we're eating. If somebody didn't fail with trying to invent certain foods, how would we ever have things like corn dogs?
How would we have corn dogs? How exactly? Let's talk.
I know. How would we have corn dogs if somebody didn't fail first trying to make that?
That was a cooking accident, wasn't it? That was a cooking accident.
A lot of them are.
Had to be.
Fell in a deep fryer and look what happened. Yeah.
And talk about remarkable. Come on. I mean, corn dogs.
Corn dogs, kid president.
It's a movement.
I'm not addicted to corn dogs at all now since kid president.
I bring them to every party I go to. Halloween parties, corn dogs. Any kind of party, I'm just corn dogs always. Everyone, I'm the hit of the party everywhere I go. I just got my rucksack full of corn dogs and I hand them out. People love me everywhere I go.
You know,
we actually make our own corn dogs in this house, so I actually have corn dog stuff mixed up. Oh yeah. No, we do it real. We do it real style. None of that boxed crap here because we're living a remarkable life. That means no processed crappy food. We're going to make sure we're enjoying food to the max.
Yeah, my wife has trouble finding anything to eat in America, or Canada for that matter. Although she's a big fan of Tim Hortons, so I have to bring home like 6 tins of that French vanilla at a time. So,
yeah, it's all sugar.
Yeah, it's fine. It's good sugar though.
Yes, yeah. No, it's hard when you go out to the grocery stores in Canada or the U.S. You're surrounded with all these processed products, all these pre-made foods. They don't really taste that well. Sometimes I'll buy an instant cheap dinner for the kids as punishment, and they won't eat it. Like, they will not eat it. So if I buy one at Walmart or something like that, they will not eat it because I've taught them the right way to eat and what is good about eating and things like that. But it's so sad when you go to the grocery stores and you see people spending so much money on things that they could easily make that taste better in person and will be healthier for them because all the chemicals and stuff like that in the food. So I'm going on a health rant here. I'm not the healthiest person, but still, we're putting all this crap into our bodies that just leave us feeling depressed, and maybe it's just designed to sort of keep us from really doing a lot of great things because we don't have the energy or anything else the
food industry has developed. I used to have a client called Unilever in massive company, makes millions of different brands that you'll know. And they make a brand in the UK called a dessert called a Viennetta. Have you ever heard of a Viennetta? It's kind of like a swirl.
I don't think so.
It's kind of an ice cream dessert, and it's kind of all swirly, and it's been piped, and it all looks very fancy. But it looks fake as anything. It's low-end dessert, you know. And I was filming many years ago on a documentary, and I was on the Viennetta line looking at how they're made. And I was looking, and this guy was talking through the ingredients, and I was watching how these things are made. It was amazing. There are these fancy nozzles, and it kind of squirts onto a frozen platter. And this machine is huge. It makes like 1,000 of these a minute. And I was talking about some of these ingredients, like, what's that for? And he said, oh, that ingredient is so that the ice cream, if you can call it that, goes through the nozzle smoothly. It's like a lubricant for the nozzle. And I said, and it's in the food? It's like, oh, yeah. And then there was a list of other foods so there's also a detergent in the food that made the nozzles easier to clean. the whole industry is based.
That's a little scary.
A little bit, and so the whole industry is based around efficiency and not nutrition. There's no nutritional benefit whatsoever of eating this product, and because obviously from an evolutionary perspective, we are still pre-programmed to want fat, sugar, and salt. We can't help ourselves, and that's why people get into a lot of problems with it. And actually, I'll do a shout out to Shannon Lagasse, who wrote a great book and was in the house with us in Portland. And it's I think it's called "Why Don't You Just Eat?"
Yes.
And it's a great book about eating issues and about the psychology around food. So I'm going to put a shout out to Shannon there.
Yeah, Shannon's been awesome for me ever since I met her at WDS a couple of years ago, and she's really changed not only me like with health, but also with just being a great friend and just having that positive energy influence in my life. She's
an amazing lady, that's for sure.
A friend of mine's just joined. I can see. That's great. Shout out. David.
Oh, and I've lost Chase. Can you still see him, Jim?
See him.
Yay, here's me.
Yeah, he's kind of dancing around.
Oh no, am I losing you?
It's all
you.
you.
Losing me. Oh no.
Oh no, I've lost Jim and Chase on
Do you
mine.
have audio? No audio.
I have some audio.
Jim and I can see each other, and I can see you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
One thing I know from video technology is that if you stay still, the video is less likely to crash.
Don't blink.
Don't blink. It sounds crazy, but that's true. It's to do with the compression on the video.
Okay, talk with your lips.
Yeah, talk. Yeah, like I have a ventriloquist dummy here.
No miming for sure, right?
Sign language.
Yes. You're moving your fingers.
You can see
aren't
me.
You?
Right, okay.
Lip reading.
Are we back, Rebecca?
I can't see you, but as long as I can hear you, I'm good. You're just showing up as poor internet
good.
signal.
No, that's a good look for me, though. I'll keep that.
So to get back on a little bit of the subject of living a remarkable life, one thing that I just randomly, I don't know what made me think of this, is that I recently heard the phrase, "You cannot make a chicken be an eagle." And that was, I think that's been something that I've been thinking about a lot recently with my friends and family, as I've been trying to make them realize things that are so clear for me about the way that they should be living their lives. Because I feel like sometimes I can be just as judgmental of someone who is unhappy and unwilling to change their ways, as someone who's unhappy and unwilling to change their ways can be judgmental about me. And I've really been trying to accept people and say they don't need to live remarkable lives if they don't want to. If they want to, heck yeah, let's do this. I'll do whatever I got to do in order to make you succeed. But if you're content with that kind of a lifestyle, that's perfectly okay. Not everyone needs to live, necessarily a remarkable life if that's not your thing. And I think that's fine. Being okay with that and understanding that your family might not understand you and might not really want to live that life. You don't have to make everyone else around you do that, even if you think you have the secret potion.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, actually, because I think the problem we have is that sometimes we can look like hippies or freaks to the uninitiated. And I think we mustn't fall into the trap of wanting more for other people than they want for themselves.
Yes.
Because
yeah, no, we definitely have to realize that not everybody wants to live a remarkable life. Some people are perfectly happy, perfectly content to wake up each day, go to the same job, and not do anything else. And that is perfectly
contentment
acceptable.
takes many forms.
We can't force anybody into doing anything they don't want to, but we can help people who are looking for a change, who want to be more inspired to do things. And it's not up to us to decide who needs to do it and who doesn't. If my kids don't want to do something amazing, if they just want to work a job, if they just want to do whatever, then they can do it. I'm not going to force them into it, but I will lead by example. and hope that they follow my example to do great things and live a remarkable life.
Yeah, I'm bad at that still. I still try and like, come on guys, like read this book, do this thing. I actually I told everyone in my immediate family, my mom and my brother and my sister and my dad, and I said, all right, I want you to read the 4-Hour Work Week. This completely blew my mind. It was such an incredible book, and I said, all right, if you read this book and you really read it, I'll pay each of you $50 on Christmas Day from here on out to this, because that's how bad I want them to realize, like, oh my gosh, the way that you're going about life. I never say this, but the way you're going about life is a dead end. Like you're already. You're already unhappy, and you're already, you can see 10 years. You can see the people that have been doing this 10 to 15 years ahead of you. Are they happy? I mean, they might be content and okay, but are they really, like, is this what they want to do with their lives? Are they fulfilled? And so I want it so bad for the people around me, my friends and family, that sometimes I go a little bit overboard with, like, come on, read this book, do this thing. Come on, come with me to this event. Come on.
Yeah, but I've got to be honest. Sometimes they'll read the book and think it's nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
They go, oh, yeah, no, that's not for people like me. And fear is a huge force. I mean, fear is big. You're asking people to challenge things that have been instilled within them from their education, from their upbringing, from their peers and friends who all had similar educations and upbringing. It's a massively powerful force that's keeping you on the ground. It's like a kind of negative gravity. It's really, really strong. And I don't know. I love it when this is why people who are forced into situations sometimes by nature or by relationships or whatever, find themselves put through the mill, as you might say, and then they come out the other side and going, wow, I feel changed. I'm now going to do something. But you had to remove the rug of security from underneath them first. Yeah, how many people have you met where they get made redundant from their jobs? They get let go. And they didn't see it coming, and then they're like, what do I do? And they decide to start their own business or go freelance, and it's the best thing they ever did. And yet, if prior to them going, if you'd said, why don't you just leave and go freelance, they think you were crazy. The world is now set up so well to support people like that. There's help everywhere, people like you guys. And everything's free. We don't have to go work at the mill anymore, as Seth Godin says. We have the mill, we have the internet, we have the means of production. We don't need to work for the Victorians anymore. It's fine.
Exactly, Jim. I love what you were saying about that, and I was wondering if either Rebecca, you, or Jim had a catalyst in your life that changed something, or was it always kind of an inherent, like, this is what I'll be doing. I want to live more of a life than most people. Like more of a remarkable life. Was there some kind of a catalyst, something that happened that changed that for you?
That's a great question, Rebecca. Why don't you go first?
I think for me, I've sort of always had that somewhere in me. I was a huge reader as I was young. Or when I was young. So I read a lot of different things, and I always saw the world in a bigger picture. I've had a few different catalysts that have led me to do great things. The first one would be being a teen mother and fighting what I felt was an injustice, which led me to not only attending the United States Supreme Court, but also to starting a grassroots organization and doing media reviews and things like that, all at the age of 20. Then I had a second coming, I guess, where I just realized that I needed to be more than a parent. And from that, I realized I needed to find myself and grow. So that would have been in my late 20s. I had 3.5 kids. I had applied to law school. I knew it wasn't quite the right thing, but I needed to do more than what I was doing. So that was really, I guess, what sparked that. And since then, I've just kept going into new things. My latest sort of spark that's really led me down this path was at the Socialite conference I talked about, when I realized that I could be up on stage doing what she's doing. There's nothing to stop me. So what if I have 4 kids? So what if I haven't did that or did that? I can do anything I want to do. So that really led me to going forward and working to do whatever I could to better myself, to learn more, to be able to do whatever I did, because it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what your background is, how many kids you have, how much money you have in the bank, what your educational background is. None of that matters as long as you keep moving forward and learning new things, and you can do whatever you set out to do. So that's basically it. Jim, did you want to go? That was sort of long.
It's okay. I'm just trying to kill my phone. Somebody's trying to get in touch with me. I didn't. I was like you. I didn't really have a single moment. I was always going to be in a creative industry, which already sets things up as different. But for me, I was very lucky that I had an accident happen to a friend of mine when we were 16. He was into theatre, and we were on our way home from a drinking session, and he, because of a bravado thing and my fault entirely, he broke his ankle and had to drop out of a show. And his mother was so angry that she made me take his part. And I knew nothing about theatre or singing or acting or anything like that. I was just a regular kid. And I went for it. She forced me to go through the show. And then after that, I got the theatre bug. And then I met creative people. And then I met a mentor called George Smith, who really opened the door and turned the lights on and said, you can look at the world in a different way. And it was the early stages of me understanding what emotional labor was about. And that actually there was a job that didn't involve working for a huge firm or following a traditional profession. You could make it as a creative person. And I went on to be a film cameraman and never looked back, basically. And theatre, to this day,
awesome.
it really, I have theatre to thank for a different perspective on the world.
And I definitely think that drama, any type of theater or drama, is just so instrumental when you're young. I know I took part in a drama club and I was on stage, and I learned a lot of important lessons from taking part in drama. So I really highly recommend put your kids in it, put yourself in it, learn how to do things like improv and stuff like that. And it just really helps with the whole life process. It looks like we've lost Chase, but we are coming up to the end of the hour. So usually we sign off about now. Why don't we leave our audience with a few of our favorite books? Jim, do you have one or two books that you absolutely love and recommend people read?
Yeah, definitely. The first one is a really old book. I think it was first published in 1952, which is Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a classic, but even today, it basically says, listen and take an interest in other people and you'll be fine. And I love that book because, it's so old and yet it's so relevant today, which is always the sign of a classic.
Sure.
And the second book I would recommend is Seth Godin's Linchpin, because that's the one that kind of brings together the previous 10 books in a way. It touches on things like education and quite big issues, but I would recommend those two books for anyone who is starting a journey.
Okay, and I'm just typing that out, the author's names, so look those up. And then for myself, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, which is developed basically from his discussions with Dale Carnegie, and 500 of the Brightest People. It was published way back in, 1908, and stays true to today. It's just a wonderful book to read, not only for yourself, but everybody else. It really changes your way of thinking. One of my other favorite books, I'd say, would be a little book called The Shark and the Goldfish. It's a very, very quick read, but it's all about believing in yourself, in your mindset. So instead of feeling you are a goldfish, act like a shark. It's that simple. Take that higher road, believe in yourself, act like the shark, not the goldfish. So I think we're at the end of the hour. It looks like Chase can't get on. I think he wants to talk more about corn dogs, so maybe we'll have a corn dog lab session one night. What do you think? Corn dogs and karaoke?
I think it's a party theme, waiting to be born.
Okay, so one night we will do corn dogs and karaoke on Living a Remarkable Life, and we'll have Chase and Jim back. Thank you, Chase and Jim, for being part of our conversation today. Have fun, Kevin, on your day today. And you find us here every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. 10 a.m., 9 a.m. Calgary time, and I have no idea what time it is.
It's 5 p.m. in the UK.
So 5 p.m. in the UK, we're on. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you all next week. Feel free to stay around, but we're going to end our recording here.
Thanks
again.
Rebecca.
Bye,
Appreciate it.
all.
Bye-bye.